Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another exciting design tutorial. A lot of beginners feel scary about auto layout in Figma, and that's why today we are going to make it simple so you can create any layout using auto layout in real time. Yes, in real time, any layout. If you try to understand what auto layout is, in simple words, auto layout is nothing but arranging your objects in a frame automatically with predefined spacing and padding, exactly the way CSS Flexbox works. So let's jump into the tutorial and make sure you watch it till end to understand auto layout in depth. Also, last but not least, make sure you have subscribed to our channel for such exciting design tutorials, tricks and techniques in future. Well, you'd be seeing things to remember today on the screen, which is Shift plus A, which is shortcut key for auto layout. So yep, let's go into the tutorial and hope you will be enjoying it. So what I have did is I have created a couple of objects on the screen just for sake of this tutorial. Nothing fancy, a couple of rectangles with different colors, just to make sure you understand how the auto layout is working on. So what you can do is you can create auto layout on a group or in a group or in a frame. End of the day, if you do auto layout on a group, it automatically creates a frame out of it. So the ideal way or the simplest way of auto layout is you would be creating a frame, you would be clicking on add auto layout like this plus button. It will be creating an auto layout. Figma automatically decides the direction of auto layout based on if you have selected something on the screen. If not, it will take the horizontal direction for the auto layout. And let's try to understand a couple of things here. So basically, when you create any auto layout, you would be able to change its direction. Do you want to stack things vertically or horizontally in the frame? Then you would be seeing spacing between the objects, and then you would be seeing horizontal and vertical padding. So you can change the horizontal and vertical padding, or you can say margin, to fit the objects in the frame, and you can define your layout. And then you'd be seeing this alignment box here where you can adjust the alignments of the objects in the layout, and then there would be some further advanced auto layout settings. So we'll definitely jump into all of these sections in detail, but yeah, this is the traditional approach. You create a frame, you click on auto layout, and it creates an auto layout. For if you want to remove the auto layout, you can simply click on this minus and remove the auto layout. But what I prefer is generally to start with a couple of objects. So just for reference, so what I do generally is I create I select the objects, I create the objects, a couple of objects on the screen, and then I select all of them together, and then I like you can say right click and group selection. So once you group something, and then you can click on auto layout. So now see the magic, it has automatically aligned my objects, and it has defined automatically which alignment it should have, and it has defined the spacing as well, which was average of these three objects. So this way you can quickly do auto layouts instead of creating a frame first then adding the auto layout. So in that case, what you can do is you can create a frame and then add auto layout on the same side. Like you can click and you can drag your objects in the frame. You can do it this way as well, no matter, like you can simply adjust the spacing here, and you can achieve the same results with this method as well. But I do prefer create the object first, at least a couple of objects, and then directly group them and create auto layout out of it, because it automatically Figma automatically determines the direction and the spacing of the layout which you want. So for example, let me just create a different set of objects, something like this, and now let me select all of them, Command G or Control G for group, Shift A for auto layout, it has created a vertical aligned auto layout for me. So this way, you can create the layouts quickly instead of creating a frame and then putting your objects in it. And one more thing, what personally I prefer is, before adding or before thinking of actual complexity of the elements, generally I prefer to start with the rectangles at very low fidelity level. The reason is, with the rectangles and colors you can choose, or you can have grays as well, but yeah, the rectangle helps us to determine the layout and figure out, okay, what real estate this frame is going to take, and then you can determine like how you want to arrange the things in the frame. So let's try to create auto layout one more time. Let's see, let me create this rectangle and this rectangle side by side, and now let me select both of them, and then yeah, I guess this is a new feature Figma, so you can select two objects and you can simply, without grouping them, you can simply click on auto layout. It will create a frame and create a layout out of it. So that is also a cool thing. So you don't even need to group them together. You can simply select multiple objects and click on auto layout. So let's just adjust the spacing between them, let's say 25 pixels, and then let's have some spacing around the edges. Let's have 10 pixels on the horizontal and 10 pixels on the vertical side. For understanding purpose, let me have some colors here. Sorry, yeah, you can, if you one more thing, if you have predefined styles created, you can click on these 4 dots and apply those styles, but if not, you can simply click on plus to add a feel to your selected object. In this case the frame is selected, so you can simply do whatever color you want. Let's keep the white for now. 10 pixels seems a little bit lesser to me. Let's do it 15, just for look and feel, nothing related to auto layout. You can adjust whatever you want. So let's say we want to split this rectangle further, or let's say this red one further, in different sections. So the sections could be horizontal or vertical. So what we can do, we can simply select this rectangle and then right click on it and then say frame selection. So when you frame it, it allows you to create a auto layout in the frame. So let's add an auto layout here, and then let's keep the direction vertical as it is for now. Let's just pull in something from this and put it in the frame. Let's just duplicate this for a couple of times. Now you'll be seeing, okay, as I'm duplicating the objects, let me change the color for better visibility. Yeah, so as we are duplicating the objects, it is creating the objects within the layout. And now if you see, if I keep on duplicating the objects, it is automatically adjusting the height of the frames, like the parent frame and the frame which I have recently shifted into auto layout, the red one. So why it is doing, let's see why it is doing. So let me select any of the frame, for example this, and now if you see the properties for the frame, it has horizontal resizing and vertical resizing. So in resizing section, if you'll be seeing it, it says hug and it says hug in both of the sections. So instead of hug, let me do fixed height, and now let me try duplicating the objects. See, it is not resizing the height of the frame, simply it is adding the objects in the frame. So if you see, these objects still are in the frame. Let me hide it for you. So if you see, the objects are still within the frame, but my frame is not automatically resizing to fit the content in it. So what we can do is, we can simply do it as a hug content. In that case, it will automatically adjust the height of my frame. Same goes for the outer frame as well. My outer frame also has hug content. So this is a way where you can quickly add elements in your frame, and your frame keeps on changing its size. So you don't need to manually keep on stretching your frame and adding the objects and resizing everything. So auto layout does the job for you. So this is one approach. Let's see, let's try to deep dive further in this. What are the other options which resizing provides? So one thing is simple which we understood is hug content, which basically, you know, try to resize your frame as per the content in the frame. Let's simply do try to change the layout direction. So instead of vertical, let's do it, you know, horizontally. So in that case, what it did, it, you know, changed the direction of the layout, and it has added all objects in the horizontal direction. So the same layout, you can quickly, you know, switch the layout, and you can quickly change the direction and change the way it appears on the screen. So now let's try to, you know, further okay, in this case I don't want to resize my frame. Let's try to do it at a fixed width, and let's say I want 1920 for example. So this is my fixed width, and what I want to do, I want to fit everything in this section. So let's just, you know, select our frame 2 in this case, and then click on fill container, sorry, not on the vertical one, but on the horizontal one, on the width section, width side. Let's say fill container. What it does, it has, you know, changed the width of the frame to fit the container, not the content within the frame, but the parent container. And now let's say further, you know, select all those rectangles in the frame 2, which is our red frame, and instead of fixed width, let's give fill container to this one as well. See the magic, like it has automatically resized all of my selected rectangles to fit in the frame, to fill in the container. So with this, now you can, you know, simply change the width of your parent frame, and everything is automatically resizing with the parent. So with this, you can quickly create, you know, responsive designs using auto layout and fill content. See, that's why, you know, auto layout is a real quick thing to speed up your workflow. So let's just delete this frame, and let's try to, you know, explore it further. Again, let me, you know, put the same rectangle here. Let me add one more here. Let's do it green one, no matter which color you choose. Let's do it auto layout. Again, let's do the same setup. Let's say we have, you know, fixed width, and then you can do 1920 for example. You have to create sections where both of the rectangles are taking equal space, where let's say 6 columns of the grid. So what you can do is you can select both of the objects and say fill container. So in that case, it will automatically create 2 column grid, 6 column grid, which fits 2 divs or 2 rectangles in your entire width. Now you can adjust the spacing between them with this, and see, it remains, you know, your parent frame remains fixed. It doesn't change its width, but your inner rectangles, those are automatically taking up the width based on your spacing and padding. Let's say let me try to adding, you know, 30 pixels on both sides. Let me just give it a color. Yeah, so I have added 30 pixels on both ends, and I have added 120 or some sort of, you know, spacing between these two objects. It has automatically adjusted the width of the selected like the objects within the frame, no matter what is your spacing or padding. You can do it for height as well. Let me do it 20 for now, and then let's select both of the you know, rectangles, and instead of fixed, let's say fill container. Now what it will do, it will, you know, keep on changing the height of the parent frame. It will automatically resize. So let's say now you want to further, you know, create a layout where you want to add one more element in this. What you can do, you can select any of these or duplicate them, or you can simply drag your third rectangle element. You can put it anywhere, and see, it is not adjusting the width of it because it is a fixed width rectangle. So what you have to do, you have to do it fill container. Now it will divide the space equally into 3 rectangles, and then it will fill the entire container. So you can do both, like fill container for height and width, and it will automatically take the space of your parent frame. Okay, so now let's try to create complex layouts, a little bit complex, like the layouts within the layouts. So let me just delete this one for now. Let's be a little bit, instead of, let's like try to be realistic. Let's see, let's say I want 25 pixels, and on the left hand side, let's say I want to have a navigation system, or let's say I want to have a couple of list items, and when I select something from the left hand side, I want to update the preview on the right hand side. So as of now, I'm not thinking about any design elements, I'm not thinking about any UI elements, I'm just focusing on the rectangles to adjust my frames or adjust my layouts. When you practice this a lot, you will be easily able to replace those rectangles with actual content. That won't take much time, but you need to master the auto layout by this way, where you can visually see what it is making, or what differences it is making when I'm changing the auto layout settings. So let's say we want it as a fixed width, and then let me just adjust it somewhere around 500 or 450. Let's keep 500. Okay, and now what I want to do is I'll keep it as a fill container, or I would say probably okay, let me add some auto layout to this to change it hug content, because it will not allow you to make it hug content, because you don't have auto layout enabled for this particular rectangle, and as this is a rectangle, it will not allow you to create a auto layout for this. So what you have to do, you have to select the rectangle, and you have to click on frame selection. Okay, so what it makes, Figma is very smart. So what Figma does is, it has created a frame for you, and if you see, okay, you'll be having a rectangle in it, and when you do auto layout, now see, as of now you have the rectangle within the frame, but when you select auto layout, Figma automatically removes that rectangle for you, and it adds that fill color to your frame itself. So that's why I said start with the rectangles and then define your layouts, and then those layouts will be automatically adjusted by the Figma as your fill color. What you can do, like let's say let me add a menu item in this. Let's do some, okay, I have this one. So now if you see, it has changed the width of my rectangle, because if you see now with the default settings of auto layout, it has given hug content, but I don't want hug content, right? I want a fixed width one. So in that case, and I'll be giving 500 as a width. Now what I want to do, I want to fill in this inner rectangle to my parent frame, in this case the blue one. So let me select this skin or beige color or sandy colored rectangle, and give it fill container, right? So it will fill the entire container, and now you can keep on duplicating this sorry, so you have to change the auto layout direction as well. Let's make it vertical, and then keep on duplicating it. So now again you might have realized, okay, why it is not adjusting the height, because my parent div is fill. So what I have to do, I have to do it as a hug content, and this one also I have to do it as a hug content. So it will keep on increasing height of my parent div, my parent frame. And now if you see on the right hand side, it is automatically filling up the space, because for this particular rectangle or for this particular frame, what we have did is we have given it as a fill. You can do it for the frame as well. Let me simply right click and frame selection. So you can see my frame is with a fill resizing option, and it is automatically going to resize or automatically going to take whatever height you have. Let me give it a fixed height, in this case 1920 by 1080. Okay, and now let me change so yeah, we haven't added auto layout to this, and now this rectangle is within the frame. So let me do auto layout for this. Now it will automatically take up the entire space with the fill color, whatever we have, like this greenish tone. And now let me do fill container for this rectangle as well. Now my menu items are in the frame, and let's say on my preview area is on the right hand side. So let me quickly adjust the spacing between these. So instead of 10, what I want to do is I want to, let's say, have 15 pixels for example, and on the top and bottom again I want to have 15 pixels or 20 pixels, let's say do 15 only. So with this, what you can do, you can quickly adjust the heights, and you can quickly now what if keep on adding multiple objects, it is not going to adjust as per your height, and to be frank, you don't even want to go ahead with the 1080p. Okay, that's why we have kept it fixed. So what we can do, we can have scrolls in the Figma. How we can enable scrolls? We can simply select the frame, and you can simply say clip content. Now it will clip your content within the frame to whatever height or width it has. So it will not resize the frame, but it will hide the content within the frame. The content is there, if you see, like you can see the content is there, but it is hidden due to clip content. So it will clip the content. Now what you can do, you can go into the prototype menu, and you can see, like, I want vertical scrolling. So, and when you play a prototype for this, let me play a prototype. So when you open a prototype for this, it will take some time, but now you can see I can scroll in the frame. So this way you can simply create the scrollable sections with the auto layout and the perfect spacing in all of your objects. You don't have to do anything manually. Isn't it interesting? Let me know in comments what you feel about this. Let me know what else you want to understand in the auto layout specifically. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to me in the comments. I'll try to answer them probably in another video or within the comments itself. So let's try to explore it more further. Let's say, what if I want to have some sort of search mechanism in this left hand side, because my I have a lot of elements here, right, and I cannot easily find all of these elements just by scrolling within them. So I want to have some sort of search bar, and maybe some sort of filter button or something on the in this section itself. So I would be having search bar and a button. So how we can do it, we can add a rectangle or add our search box. Let's say if we try to add our search bar here itself, and then let's say let me just have it a smaller button, and let me try to put it in this frame. What it does, it is not allowing me to put it next to each other. So there are a couple of ways. What you can do is you can select both of them together, group them, and then add auto layout in it. And or other ways, you can select whichever approach fits best for you, you can go ahead with it. I personally feel simply put your objects in the auto layout, and then let me keep the original copy as it is, and simply select both of them together, frame selection, add a auto layout, define the direction, select your parent frame, and then do it a fill container, have a fix width button, width, my scale proportion is enabled for this, but yeah, no worries. Let me just do it a fix width button, or let me do it a fill container one. Okay, so with this I have created a you would be seeing some sort of space at the end, and what I want to do, I'll be just doing it a fill container. So it will automatically adjust my search bar and the button next to it in the same layout. But now if you see, you would be finding another problem. Now if you try to scroll, my search bar is scrolling with the content, and I don't want it. So I want to keep it static. So what you can do is you can again select all of your rectangles in the frame. So now if you see the layout, the structure of this frame is like you have a frame then you have a nested frame within it, and then you have all of your items in the frame. So what we would be doing, we would be creating another frame, another nested frame within the frame 2. So let me select all of these elements. Let me right click here itself and do a frame selection. And then whenever you select objects like within the auto layout, it doesn't create auto layout automatically. So you have to again click on auto layout, and then based on your whatever spacing you have, it will automatically adjust the spacing whatever you had previously, and it will create a auto layout nested in the frame. So what you have to do now, you have to click on your parent frame, and remember we have clipped it, so we have to we can keep it clipped as well, no matter, but we don't want scroll in this frame now. So now our scrollable frame would be frame 5, right? So what we can do is we can show all contents, like we can simply uncheck the clip content. In the prototype you can remove the scrolling as well. No scrolling, I don't want to scroll in my parent frame. Now let me select my nested frame, and let me go to the design tab again, and instead of hug content, what I'll say fill container, because I want to fit it within my parent, and you got it correct. Now I'll be doing clip content for this one. So it will clip my content in this nested frame, not in the frame 2 but within the frame 5. And now what you can do is you can simply have a vertical scrolling again on the frame 5, and now when you play the prototype, your search bar and your button would be static, and you'll be able to scroll within the section or within the frame which you have recently created. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the basics of the auto layout. We'll definitely go into more advanced settings, but I feel like there are a couple of advanced settings, but I feel instead of jumping everything or like eating everything on one time, will definitely not going to be a good thing for your digestion. So let's go with a slow pace. Let's try to understand these basics first, and then slowly jump into the advanced auto layout settings. But whatever you have learned so far, I would recommend you to practice it, create interesting auto layouts, and definitely try to post it in the community, and we'll be able to definitely like to see whatever content, whatever layouts you have created with this. So yep, stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe, share and comment.